Hello Coder Club, this is C++ Lesson 2, Data Types and STD Sin. So, review from last lesson, we have to include IOStream to do anything with STD count or anything like that. We have to make our integer main, our main method. And a method is anything that has the curly braces, or curly brackets at the that contain all the code that's inside the method. Also, everything that's inside of a method needs to be indented. Like as you can see here, everything's indented. And at the end of every line of code that you write, you need to do a colon, semicolon, and then a new line. So we'll also learn about system pause, how that makes it so whatever you're doing doesn't just end right away. And yeah. So this is going to be data types and STD sin, so you can just delete the hello world. So data types are different types of data. There can be integers. Those are just whole numbers. There can be floats. Floats are numbers that are for really big numbers, like in the centillions. Doubles are integers that have decimals. And then there are characters. Characters are just like a character, but they can only be letters. They can't be numbers. So then there's one more. It's string, but string is in the STD group. So there's this thing you can do using namespace STD. You can use that if you want. I don't use it, but it means that everything that you need STD : in the start of it, you don't have to write that. So let's say we're doing STD count. You don't have to do the STD. You can just write count. But so string is in the STD, so you would have to write STD string, but you don't have to write that because we have done using namespace STD. I like using STD, so I will do that. You can use it if you want, but I don't like to use it. So STD string, J equals, and you can do any sentence like, what is your name? Right? You can do anything like that. So those are data types. Now for STD sin. So I'm gonna make a string called name. STD string name. And remember, everything has to be indented that's inside. So then I'll do count, STD count. What is your name? How about that? So then after STD sin, and if we want it to be a string, we actually have to include string. So hashtag include string. We don't need a colon at the end of that. So now remember that remember that you need the greater than less than signs to be the opposite way, because the reason you have them is because it's taking this sentence and putting it through those into the console. That's why it's console output. But this is the other way. It's taking your input and putting it into whatever variable you write. So I will do name, STD sim, and whatever you input is going to be name. So now it's going to ask, what is your name? Well, first it's going to say, okay, there's a string and it's called name. And then it's going to say, okay, it's going to say what is your name, and then it's going to input. It's going to have a user input, and whatever we type in is going to be equal to our name, the variable name. So now we can say whatever we type in, we can do std count hello, and then we can actually do plus name. Hello name, or we can do plus a period. So hello name with a period at the end. So yeah, we can debug it. Say, what is your name? Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Press any key to continue. But that's why I would actually want to do std and l. There is actually another thing you can do. So instead of doing plus, you can just do that. Does the same thing, just doing plus is easier because you're not doing 2, you're doing 1. So I do plus. I don't think plus works for that, but yeah. Plus only works if you're adding another string to it. So yep, that is C++ lesson 2. See you next time, Coder Club.